What's up, YouTube? Today we are going to be freshening up the factory wheel wells. We're going to be going in and checking all the scuffs and scrapes for rust, getting rid of that. We're going to use this RUST-OLEUM rust reformer. It instantly converts rust into a protected and sandable surface. So you use this instead of having to sand everything down to bare metal. You can just use this and it'll prevent it from rusting. And then after that, we're going to use this iron armor rubberized undercoating that you use on trucks and Jeeps and whatever. You can get this at Harbor Freight for $6. You can get this at Harbor Freight for $6 as well. So today we're going to use both of these and transform this wheel well from rusty and silver and all that other good stuff into nicely protected, and then we're going to use this over top to protect it from the elements and everything else. So let's jump right into it and start working on this and see how it ends up. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you why you want to do this. So these cars are really set up for 17-inch wheels and kind of smaller. So what happens is when you put 18s on and somewhat bigger tires, on full turn, and if you lower it too much, you get this. So this is from tire rub through the undercoating from the factory, and then it exposes the metal, which then turns into this rust. So what we're going to do is we're going to scuff all this up, use our reformer. It'll stop that from rusting, and then spray over it with the undercoating to make it look like factory again. Same with over here. You know, the tire sits down here, and when you lower it, it scuffs it up like this. And then full turns will do the same. It'll rub on this well when you turn the wheel, you know, fully this way and this way. So yeah, anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and go through this, find any rust, kind of scuff it up with a wire wheel just to get all the big chunks and stuff off, and then we're gonna hit it with our reformer and then spray over it. Another thing that might be helpful is while you're in here doing a wire tuck. So as you can see, this is actually supposed to be like all the way down here to this one, and someone before me has nicely, not nicely, but they have done the work for me, cut the whatever this is called and tucked all the wires up under here. And so yeah, this usually hangs down here, so when you lower your car you have a really bad chance of rubbing through the wires. It happens all the time on Facebook with the top of your tire, and then you have huge electrical issues. So while you're doing this, you might want to consider tucking your wires up, and if the reason you're doing it is to wire tuck, maybe consider watching this video and then undercoating it as well. Alright, so obviously first things first is to remove your front bumper and then remove your fender, just to get as much room in here as possible and get as much protection on every piece of metal as possible as well. So the next step that I did is I went ahead and took my coilover out because it wasn't set the same height as the other side and it was gross looking and I want to clean it, so I took that out, and it gives you ample room for spraying. So that's the first thing, obviously. Second step now that we're going to do is we're just going to get a brush and some soapy water and literally just go ahead and just use your brush and clean the surface that you're going to be spraying. You know, get all the dirt that sits on this lip right here and hit all your cobwebs and whatever else. So let's go ahead and start cleaning this, and once it dries we can start wire wheeling and everything else. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up. Alright, so I have the surface all cleaned here. We're just kind of waiting for it to dry in some spots. Next I'm going to use my flappy disc and just hit some of these bigger spots here on sides and up in here. You don't have to do this. This is an optional step because the rust reformer will just take care of all that stuff. That's why we're using it. But I'm just going to hit it on some of those bigger spots and over here But the rust reformer is really good for areas that you can't get into, like you see like up here. There's no way I could really ever get any sort of tool in there. So this is really what the rust reformer is good for, is for spots that you can't really clean with tools. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this with some with the flappy wheel, like I said, and then we'll just start rust reforming all the other spots we can't get to. So let's go ahead and get that started. Okay, so I have everything I feel needs flappy disked. Like I said, you can skip that step because the reformer does it for you. I just wanted to go ahead and help it as much as possible. But here's our spots. You can see I couldn't reach that, so the rust reformer will take care of that. And then here, and so yeah, now all we have to do is just get our reformer right here. It's like I said, it's RUST-OLEUM, and it makes rust stop, and it prevents it from spreading, and it basically turns it back into like a metal paintable surface. So all you have to do is just go ahead and hit it on all the spots that you flappy disked, or if you didn't, just go ahead and hit it on all your rust spots. It really won't do anything for you on spots that are already painted like that. So you're just going to use this and hit these rusty spots. So let's go ahead and just start spraying all the rust and then let it dry, and then we can use our rubberized coating over top. So let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, so once you have your reformer on, you just wait like 10 minutes. You can tell when it's dry because it dries like flat like this. So I just sprayed this and this is dry. Same over here. Wet, dry. So it has like a matte finish when it starts drying. And it runs and stuff, doesn't matter. This stuff is kind of more liquid than regular spray paint. So if you're up real close in here, you might get some runs. But it really doesn't matter because you're going to put rubberized coating over it anyway. But yeah, so just give this like 10 minutes. Look for it to be a matte finish like this. That way you know if it's dry. It's dry to the touch. You can add more coats if you want. I'm gonna do 2 just because more the merrier, you know. So yeah, let's give this 10 minutes and then we can undercoat it next. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes maybe. Everything's looking good, nice and dry. So I went ahead while that was drying and just masked off everything that I didn't want sprayed. Intercooler, wrapped it with newspaper, everything. Alright, so now all we have to do is just take our undercoating. You shake the can for like 3 minutes, it says on the back, and then you just go ahead and spray it on everything that you want now. Literally hit all the spots everywhere, even over the rust reformer. Hit everything. Everywhere you want undercoated, go ahead and spray. And like I said, shake this for about 3 minutes. It will come out kind of like a brownish color. I think it has asphalt in it, and it smells real bad. So make sure if you don't want any on your hands and stuff and your clothes to wear old clothes and stuff, because it's pretty gross and nasty. So let's go ahead and start spraying this. Alright, so we have this whole side now completed. I've taken the masking tape off and let it sit for a while. Now, the only thing I will say about this side compared to the other side is the blacks are not the same. So what happened was it used 1 can per corner. So 1 here, 1 there, 1 in the back, and 2. So 4 total cans. Well, at Harbor Freight, I didn't know they sell 2 different kinds of this. So I used this kind for the other side, which is the same thing, but it has a shiny can top to it. This one I bought today has a matte, so it's very hard to tell, but this was the matte finish side, and like I said, they both spray on like a brownish color, but this side is definitely staying more brown. It's really hard to tell, and I'm sorry you can't really pick it up, but like this side has got some brown to it. Like, look at this cap here, look how brown that is. So it's not super noticeable from back here, you know, like this distance. It's not too bad, but I just want to make you guys aware that the matte finish cap is more brown and the gloss cap is more black. So I bought 2 cans of the matte black. I don't think I'm going to use it again. I thought it would do the same, but it's staying more of like a brown color. And then, like I said, this is the passenger side, and this is the shiny cap black, and it's definitely more of like a black color for sure. But regardless, either way, the car needs the protection, so color doesn't really matter. And it says on the can that they're paintable surfaces, so if brown's not your thing, you can paint this black with any sort of spray paint after that. So this says to let it cure for 24 hours. So I've just gone ahead and thrown my coilover back in. I'll put the wheel back on, and I'll set it back down on the ground to let it cure for the whole time. But this has been the process of basically how you undercoat or restore and repair your rust from your wheels or any other reason. So if this has been helpful at all, or you would like to do this to your own car, please feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. There'll be more coming. And then after this, if you want to do the back wheel well, it kind of does the same thing. Just do the same process as the front to the back, which I'll be doing that, but I won't be videoing it because it's the same thing. I don't want to bore you guys. But anyway, this is Fogel. I'll see you all on the next one. I'll leave the link in the description below for these parts, or just go to Harbor Freight. It's really not that big a deal. Or you can use 3M or AutoZone undercoating, or any other kind that you want. This was just a pretty affordable option, so this is what I did. But anyway, yeah, this is Fogel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope this was helpful. And yeah, peace out as always. Later. Have a great day.